What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode on EI Entertainment Studios, back at it with another debate episode. For today's debate episode, we're going to be talking about Godzilla 2021 versus Shin Mechagodzilla. So here's the plan, folks. We're going to go over the backstories and basically analyze these two giant creatures, and once we're done with that, we're going to put them up against each other in a death battle. So without further ado, let's begin with Godzilla. So, Godzilla is an ancient alpha predator who was awoken by the nuclear bomb. It protects Earth as the ultimate force of nature, forever and ever. Now, this is interesting because other Godzillas, now, just to kind of clarify that when I say other Godzillas, this Godzilla is from Legendary, it's from the United States, and the other Godzillas are from Japan, the original place where Godzilla comes from, and the basic backstory, there are, alternatives here and there are some other Godzillas, but just, to be general, most Godzillas are an abomination, and they are basically spawned from the atom bomb. Whereas this Godzilla is actually awoken by the atom bomb, and he's actually a good thing. He's a force of nature, basically, acts as a defense mechanism for Earth. It's a bit different, and I like the different take on it. It's pretty cool. Alright. Now, we're going to do a quick skim of the abilities, we're going to go over everything, and then we're going to come back to the abilities before we move on to the next opponent. And we're going to, obviously do a deep analysis of every, single ability, so do not worry. But for now, let's do a quick skim. Atomic Breath, Combat, Agility, and Burning Ability. Now, Territorial is none, Aggression is maximum, Biome is Earth, Height is 120 meters tall. Alright. Okay. Well, now let's go back to the abilities. Let's do a deep analysis. So, first we have the Atomic Breath. Obviously, this is the signature move of Godzilla. It is a nuclear pulse in a kind of energy beam where he shoots out of his mouth, and it is absolutely powerful. It's, as I said, it's full nuclear power, and, depending on the size of the opponent, he can, kill an opponent, or he can do a lot of damage. But I can tell you for sure, he can do a lot of damage with his Atomic Breath. To humans, civilians, kill humans with it, and you can also destroy buildings easily. So basically, this is the best signature move Godzilla has, every Godzilla has, which is the Atomic Breath, which is basically a nuclear pulse that kind of, forms into like a flamish type of beam, and he shoots out of his mouth as a nuclear reactor. Because Godzilla, in essence, Godzilla is a living and walking nuclear reactor. Now, with that being said, let's move on to the next ability, which is Combat. Now, although I put Combat and Agility different, I'm just going to combine them and explain them because they're so similar. So Combat, or similar as in they go hand in hand. So Combat and Agility. To this date, Legendary Godzilla, and to be specific, Godzilla 2021, is the most agile and combat-worthy Godzilla I have ever seen. His agility is amazing. Insane stamina for this Godzilla. Combat, he can kick, he can punch, he can headbutt, he can scratch, and his tail whip is deadly. I mean, he killed one of the Mutos with the tail whip, so his tail whip is very powerful. He can break a jaw, break a face with that. He can absolutely smash the flesh off of someone with that. So yeah, the tail whip is definitely deadly. The tail whip is the best of the combat. So he's definitely agile. His his combat is great, and he is the only Godzilla to date that I've ever seen, and that you've ever seen, because that's the only truth, that has ever survived a blast from the Oxygen Destroyer. Yep, that happened in Godzilla King of the Monsters in Godzilla 2019. Same Godzilla. All right, and then finally we have the Burning Ability, and this is a very unique ability. Now, this is not the first time it's appearing. The first time this appeared was in the 1995 film Godzilla vs. Destroya, where Godzilla is dying and he's going into the state. This is the opposite. He's not dying. He's actually gaining energy. It's kind of ironic. Now, how this works? He needs two catalysts for the burning ability to activate. He needs extra radiation, meaning more radiation than his body already possesses. So basically, exterior nuclear radiation entering his body. And that could be transported by a bomb or whatever, the case may be. And also the full energy of Mothra. That means she has to die and give all of her essence into Godzilla. Once those two catalysts are put into place, Godzilla can go into something called the burning mode, where his nuclear, pulse is so high, his temperature is just exploding, and basically he explodes and melts everything at a close range, and including his atomic breath kind of changes into this red color. It's absolutely brutal. He melted King Ghidorah to death with this, and it's a very powerful ability. Alright folks, that is going to sum up Godzilla. Now, let's move on to Shin Mecha Godzilla, and let's see what's up with this character. So Shin Mecha Godzilla came into existence after Shin Godzilla was injected with a coagulant and froze. DNA samples from Shin Godzilla's body had fallen to the ground, and elite biologists collected the samples and kept them alive with the correct temperature and placed the DNA samples into a Godzilla-like metal-built body, so the DNA could evolve and adapt into the metal body and form a brain. After 13 days, the DNA evolution cycle was complete, and a half robotic and half flesh Godzilla was born, known as Shin Mecha Godzilla. So this is the backstory that I personally came up with. If this creature were to really exist, I think it's a pretty cool backstory. The height is 196 meters tall, so he's quite bigger than Godzilla. Abilities, doing a quick skim. Super laser ray, gliding ability, laser rockets, scan missiles, prediction ability, solar recharge, and adaptation ability. Territorial level is max, aggression is max, biome is unlimited. Alright, and I'll talk about why the biome is actually unlimited in the abilities. So let's go back to the abilities and let's do a deep analysis, shall we? Super laser ray. Now obviously this is a metal built body with Shin DNA that's been evolved and perfectified over time, right? And we know Shin Godzilla. This is his DNA. Now, the super laser ray is basically a robotic laser combined with the original laser of Shin Godzilla's atomic laser. And so it is absolutely powerful. It's very focused and very hot, as in temperature, and it could melt opponents' hearts, literally the heart, in an instant. That's how powerful this thing is. Next we have the gliding ability. Yes, Shin Mechagodzilla can glide around. And with that being said, not only can he glide, he can use that to ram into his opponents. So great defensive and offensive, because he can glide away if he's in danger. Laser rockets. Now these are pretty cool. These are basically lasers that scan the area, and they're rockets. And basically the rocket hits the opponent and the laser opens up and it kind of confuses the opponent. And this is basically used to throw the opponent off for a bigger attack, or to just, buy some time to recover. So it's more of a kind of a distraction than an actual, deadly ability. And next we have the scan missile. Now this one is a bit more precise, a bit more deadly. The scan missiles are basically used as a predictive ability. Now the next ability is a prediction ability. They're not the same, so don't mix this up. The scan missiles have a predictive ability in them, as in the scan missiles will slowly learn the opponent's abilities and things the opponent does, and they'll detect similar movements, and the moment they know that a monster or whatever, the opponent, is about to make a move that's going to make some part of their body open for attack, the scan missiles are going to shoot and just target that part of the body that's open. So great ability. And then the prediction ability. Now we just talked about the missiles. This is about the whole body. Shin Mechagodzilla again studies the opponent, and within 15 minutes of a battle, 10-15 minutes, he has fully predicted and fully understood the movements of the creature, and he can basically counter almost everything the opponent throws at him because he's learned every ability. And that's a prediction ability. He stores memory inside of him. Next we have the solar recharge. So yes, Shin Mechagodzilla needs to be charged, but if there's sun outside, he will constantly keep on fighting because the solar panels on his body, they're super advanced, basically keep him recharged non-stop. So solar recharge is a great ability. And finally we have the adaptation ability. This comes from Shin DNA. We know that Shin DNA likes to adapt and evolve and change forms, and to basically adapt to the environment. That's why I said I will explain the biome is unlimited, because basically this creature, this robotic creature, can evolve and adapt to fit any situation and any environment. Alright folks, that basically sums up everything. Now we're ready for the death battle. Now this is the plan. Close range and far range. Now why do I do this? Far range, basically we do this to test these opponents out at a limited capacity, because not every ability is going to be able for them to use in far range. So having some abilities, canceled out, can they still win a fight? Can they still defend themselves? It's a great way to test an opponent out and see who can win. And then finally we have close range, which is face to face. So we'll start with far range first, and here are the rules. They have to be, and I repeat, they have to be 700 meters apart. That means absolutely no physical contact. 700 meters apart, cannot come closer than 700 meters. So let's see what abilities Shin Mechagodzilla can or cannot use in terms of far range. Super laser ray, of course. Gliding ability, as long as he doesn't use it to touch the opponent, that's fine. Laser rockets, yes. Scan missiles, yes. Prediction ability, yes. Solar recharge, something to do with that, sure, but as in distance. And adaptation ability, of course. So this is pretty rare, but he can use every single ability in far range. If you watch my debate videos, not every kaiju can do this. So yeah, that's a cool one to see. Now Godzilla. Let's see what Godzilla can do. Atomic breath, of course you can use that. Combat, absolutely not. Combat obviously means physical, contact. So no. Agility, sure. Burning ability, yes. This is gonna be such an interesting fight. Oh, I cannot wait. I'm already getting hyped because both of these monsters are so powerful. Alright, so in far range, personally, knowing that Godzilla is a force of nature, I believe he's going to be the first one to attack Shin Mechagodzilla. With the atomic breath, of course, and it's a powerful one as well. It's going to do a lot of damage. It's probably going to chip some metal pieces off Shin Mechagodzilla. Now, however, at this point, Godzilla used the atomic breath. Shin Mechagodzilla has already put that into the database and learned what an atomic breath is, how to evade it, and how to predict when it's going to happen. So that's already in there. So as soon as Godzilla uses the atomic breath, he can basically no longer use it, because every time he's going to use it, remember we talked about that Shin Mechagodzilla has predictive abilities, and basically what he's going to do is either going to put a shield on himself, he's going to go into, flying mode and completely evade it, or he's going to attack with the scan missiles the exact location around the mouth where the atomic breath is going to come out. So the first time he uses it is going to do some damage. However, after the first time, Shin Mechagodzilla has this already memorized. Once he has this memorized, he's obviously going to, use a super laser ray, which is going to do a lot of damage to Godzilla. The super laser ray is basically Shin Godzilla's atomic laser and a perfectified robotic laser put into one. Very focused, very powerful. It is going to be a deadly ability. It's going to chip a lot of flesh off of Godzilla with this. And also when he does that, he's also going to use the scan missiles, and it's definitely going to just fly everywhere every time Godzilla's moving. Now with the atomic breath, every time Godzilla uses the atomic breath, Shin Mechagodzilla is going to use the laser rockets, even the scan missiles, and he's going to completely predictively attack Godzilla and just cancel out every single time. Now the burning ability, obviously the burning ability has not happened, and the burning ability is very powerful, right? And it melts almost everything in path. Now it's quite interesting to mention that Shin Mechagodzilla is a learning robot. It is a evolutionary robot. It's not just a robot. It can evolve itself. That's how advanced it is. So as soon as, let's assume that these two catalysts, right, Mothra's energy and the extra nuclear bombs, are placed onto Godzilla, when he starts to turn on his burning ability, the temperature is going to rise, it's going to rise, it's going to rise, it's going to rise. And what's going to happen is Shin Mechagodzilla's adaptive ability is going to kick in, and his tolerance is going to quickly, engineer himself. His tolerance is going to rise and going to rise and going to rise for heat. And it's going to get to a point where he is fine at the blast of the burning ability. And it's going to be absolutely no damage to him, because he's gonna already been evolved. He evolves in mere seconds. That's how powerful it is. And so, with those statistics on side, the super laser ray will be the deciding factor and will destroy Godzilla. Therefore, Shin Mechagodzilla will win this fight in terms of far range 1-0. Alright, let's go to close range now. It's face to face. Now let's take this into consideration. Shin Mechagodzilla is 196 meters tall, right? Godzilla 2021 is 120 meters tall, so there's quite the difference there. Now, face to face, when these guys meet each other, Godzilla is a very aggressive creature. He's gonna run and try to ram into Shin Mechagodzilla. Now, don't forget, Godzilla is very powerful and bulky. However, Shin Mechagodzilla is pure steel, and he's bigger, much bigger, meaning he's heavier and bulkier. And when these two ram into each other, Shin Mechagodzilla is going to take Godzilla down. Now, as soon as he takes him down, Godzilla's going to use the atomic breath. Now, again, we're assuming this is the first time, but we restarted in close range. So, he's using the atomic breath from very close distance. That's probably going to break off a piece of Shin Mechagodzilla's head, or it's going to break off an arm. It's going to break something off from that close range, because of how powerful it is. The closer it is, the more impact you're going to get. It's very, very powerful, alright? So, with that being said, now, when he does that, obviously he's going to throw Shin Mechagodzilla off of him, and Godzilla's going to go on full combat mode. And, you know, as crazy as it seems, I personally see Godzilla overpowering him because how fast he is, how agile he is. And the agility is really going to kick in, and with that atomic breath, Shin Mechagodzilla is already, she's trying to, evolve and help, kind of heal himself, even though it's very, very quick to do that. Godzilla's already on top of him, ripping apart, with the tail whip, the hands, the legs, atomic breath. He quickly goes on burning mode, and then he just slams him to the ground. I see Godzilla winning close range, making it 1-1. Wow. What does that mean? Overtime. It's been a while. We haven't got overtime at debate video. It's always been a pretty easy answer. So let's go to overtime. Now overtime is we're just rating them off of pure abilities. So without further ado, let's do it. Let's do abilities, or let's test the abilities of Godzilla. So Godzilla has the atomic breath, combat, agility, and the burning ability. Now, for Shin Mechagodzilla, we have the super laser ray, gliding ability, laser rockets, scan missiles, prediction ability, solar recharge, and adaptation ability. Now when you compare the two, obviously Shin Mechagodzilla takes the cake because the abilities in general are more and they're better. So personally, I'm gonna have to give the win for overtime to Shin Mechagodzilla, making it 2-1 due to overtime. This is a very close one. Very, very close battle, but from overtime, Shin Mechagodzilla ended up taking the win. Now, this is just my opinion. You can debate me in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, have a great and a wonderful day.